Hi guys, welcome to Teachers Off Duty. For those of you that may not be so familiar with us, my name is Rebecca Rogers. I am R. Rogers World on social media.
I'm Mr. Williams, Tell Williams. I'm Mr. Williams pre-K on social media.
I'm Honest Teacher Vibes. Hey, best friend.
And I am Mrs. Woolley in 5th, Lauren Woolley on all social medias. And today, this episode is supported by Student Treasures. So Student Treasures is this amazing company that wants to make all students published authors. And they have published 15 million student books so far.
That's
amazing.
It's really cool because they literally send teachers a free publishing kit. And you heard that. It is free.
We love free.
We love free. And teachers will get this free publishing kit. You make a book with your students, send it back to them, and they will send you a bound, high-quality book for your class for free.
And I know that's something that you did when you were in school.
Yes, I did. I actually did that in 1st grade, and it's something I will never forget. And parents can actually purchase their class's book for $19.95.
Nice.
So it's just an awesome, awesome memory that you can create with your students. So make sure that you guys hit them up and get your own free publishing kit from Student Treasures. Yeah. So what are we talking about today, Bex?
Well, so I know that's a question that we always get from all of our followers is kind of, what were you like as a kid? What were you like as students? Because everyone knows what we are like as teachers.
Bad.
That's kind of how we have made our platforms.
That was terrible.
What were you like as students, as children? Do you want to go first, Al?
Oh gosh. So I was the one that was like the worry wart. So you know that kid that's like always crying? It was me. No, it was terrible. I don't know what it would have been like if I was my own teacher. I've been like, least favorite child in my classroom.
Why? What did you do? Like, do you have any funny stories?
Oh, yeah. So, like, I mean, it started, like, my sister would bring me to school. Like, she would walk me to class, and then she would leave, and I would cry when she left. Because I'm like, she's going to get lost in the school.
Wait, how old were you?
I was in 1st grade.
Aww.
Yeah.
Sweet little
and I think, like, so in kindergarten, we had something called the Q Bear. And I didn't know what the Q Bear was. It was you could never do it now. It's a stuffed animal and it had a giant Q on it, and it looked like a superhero. And Miss Holsopple would swing around like a crazy person in a circle, and she'd hold it out, and we'd stand around her. And then she would like manically be like, and it's your turn to take the Q Bear home for the weekend. So you got to take it home for the weekend, take pictures of like all the stuff you did.
That's cute.
And I really wanted the Q Bear. And I didn't know what alphabetical order was, but I knew I was at the bottom of the list. So I counted each week, and it was my week. I knew that like the person ahead of me had already gone, so I knew it was my turn. And I was like, I cannot wait for this. I told my dad about it. He takes me into kindergarten, and Miss Holsopple spins around manically, and then it goes back to Ebony at the top, and she skipped me. And I think this started my anxiety for the rest from like kindergarten.
Miss Holsopple?
I tried to. I just cried though because I didn't know what to say, because I thought maybe I was wrong about it, because I didn't know that like maybe I was wrong about the order. And I cried, and then I got into our little station wagon. My dad picked us up, and I was crying hysterically because I was like, I didn't get to Q Bear. Like I was so upset. And then
Miss Holsopple, it's your fault. He has anxiety.
Yeah. And it just branched from there. 1st grade, I was, they called me Tell the Tattletale, because I tattled on everyone. And I was like, I need to be a changed person. I need to not do this anymore. So my friend Sarah, she was writing. She was like my only friend I had because I was really annoying. And I had a terrible speech impediment too. And I was super loud. So it was just like, and so she's writing, and then she's thinking. And then she like is putting like her pencil in her mouth as she's thinking. And I was like, there's wedding pencils. You can die. And she was like, there's not, it's fine. She's like, and she's like thinking more. I was like, no, there's wedding there. You're going to die. And I went to Miss Overman, and I said, Sarah's eating her pencil. And then the class erupted, Tal's tattling again. And then Sarah started crying, and she was my friend after that.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, but I need to know if your teacher fixed it and gave you the Q Bear.
I need to know.
I got the Q Bear like a couple weeks later because I was like super sad about it. I didn't know how to even like word it to my dad. And then Natasha, my older sister, had the Q Bear the year before. And I was talking about, I was like, I didn't get my tone with the Q Bear. And my dad's like, oh. So he talked to Miss Holsopple. She's like, I must have forgot. You know what you did. You know what you did, Mrs. Holsopple.
He's coming for you.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't even remember.
Every day.
You think she still teaches?
She was old.
Oh.
She was old. That was 25 years ago.
So she died.
So she died with the Q Bear. She took it home for that weekend.
Y'all. Oh my God.
I'm joking, guys.
I was like, dang. See, okay.
Now I see what kind of student you really were.
I was. I acted like I was the innocent one, but really I was like, what's his name? The Omen.
You made the Omen. You made me think of kind of a scenario. So when I was in high school, there was a family of substitutes that always like went to the to
Like
school.
the Brady Bunch, but subs?
No, like actually there was a mom,
gosh.
a dad, and a son, and I like would feel really bad, like, because I know at least the son is alive, and so I would feel really bad, like saying
Making
their
that joke.
names.
Yeah, you're good.
But like they were always really nice, but a lot of kids would make fun of them because they were definitely immigrants. They didn't all speak English very well.
Kids are mean.
The
Kids are
woman-
mean.
The mom had like a really bad hunchback also.
Oh.
Like the kids were so mean and it was just cruel. And so, fast forward to when I was actually teaching, we had a new teacher who also grew up in the school system. And he's like, oh, do you remember like that family that would always sub? And then he like tried to imitate how the mom walked.
No.
And I looked at him
Why
and
are
I said,
people so mean?
I said, I think she passed away. And he's like, oh, probably. And like, I was like, okay,
what
you're
a
done.
hateful human being.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
That was
I want to know what you were like as a kid, though.
Okay, fine. I'll do a different story then.
Wait, what were you like in social studies as a kid?
See, I honestly didn't love social studies until I had one teacher. His name was Schaefer. And
Schaefer.
because anyone who knows him, he would like, I don't know if you're dead or not, but like it's a
What
thing.
is it
like,
with y'all and your
No.
teachers being
Like,
dead,
that's-
man?
He used to always joke about it. Like when
Listen,
you're
someday
when
kids
you're
are gonna say that
teaching,
about us. They're gonna be
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Is
Mrs.
Mr.
Williams,
Williams
she's
dead?"
dead."
you have to know Schaefer. Like he would love that so much. Like he was.
If he were alive.
He honestly, I
God
think he
rest
is.
his soul.
So he called me his Jewish granddaughter. Like it was weird, but he
Is
was.
he Jewish?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're all like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
No. So Schaefer was like, he was psychotic in the best way.
Those are the
You
best.
either really loved him or you absolutely hated his guts. And I adored him. I loved him. He was the toughest teacher in our county for AP US history, and he made it so fun. And that was the first time that I really got into history. Like he is why I'm a history teacher.
That's amazing.
And he would tell me that I'm dumb for that, but it's okay.
You're dead.
he would tell us that he became a history teacher to dodge the draft and like things like that.
Oh, he is really honest.
He
was
would
not lying.
call the class the Gentiles. Like
What does
I'm
that
telling
mean?
you,
You not read the Bible? The Jews and the
Did I
Gentiles?
read the
Yeah.
Bible?
Shut up, Tel. The Jews and the Gentiles?
like, are you Jewish?
No.
You're a Gentile.
Oh, I get it.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Then
Your
you're a
response
Gentile.
when I said, do you read the Bible? Do I read the Bible?
No, when I was a kid, I remember we did a scavenger hunt and they said, go look up Psalms, whatever. And I was sitting there and everyone had found it because they were doing like Bible bingo. And I was like, and everyone was done.
Still turning?
And they're like, tell Psalms. I said, I can't find the S's.
Oh no.
Or Tel. Oh my God.
Okay,
That's-
to be fair, I grew up in a Roman Catholic church, and never once have I read the Bible. Like,
They read it to you.
yes, they did.
Did
They
you go to a public school?
Oh yeah, I did. A really big public school.
Interesting.
As a kid, I was as boring as you could get. Like, I was the goody two shoes. Like, I'm sure kids hated me because I didn't do anything wrong. Like,
You never got in trouble.
No, but it was like the never get in trouble where like other kids get in trouble and the teacher makes a good example out of you. So then kids hate you more.
I hate that.
So like I distinctly remember in 5th grade, one kid on the bus kept getting like picked on by all the other kids, and I was just like minding my business, listening to my Hillary Duff CD in my
Was
CD
it Were you
player.
listening to Come Cleaner? So yes.
Nice.
It was.
Hillary
It was.
Duff.
It was. Let the rain. No.
Yeah.
But
Sing
like.
it.
Oh my God, yeah.
So they were making fun of this girl, and the bus driver was like, all 5th graders are going to stay on the bus when we get to the school. And so we get to the school, she stops the bus, and then she goes, oh, but not you, Lauren. You're okay. You
I
can
would've
go.
stayed on
I
that
was like,
bus.
no.
I wouldn't moved.
Right. So then they get reamed out. We go to school. The very
Reamed
next
out.
day, they're like, oh, Lauren, you can sit with so-and-so since, you're
Oh.
BFFs now. And I was like, dang it. So
Did you not like the girl either?
I'm like, Cynthia, what did you do to me? Like,
Cynthia, I immediately went to the
what?
Rugrats doll.
I have
Cynthia. Cynthia. She's a really cool dancer. Cynthia.
I
We'll get to the groove now.
Of a different story. When I was in middle school. This is the time that I beat someone up.
Rebecca
No.
Rogers
I don't
beat
believe it.
someone up.
Listen,
You're gonna
let
like
her.
this.
Yeah,
So,
listen to this.
Did I tell you this story?
Yes.
You like this story a lot. So I'm sweating really bad now. So we were in middle school, and I did all-star cheerleading all throughout my childhood for 15 years, and so like that was like our little cult was our gym, and there was
cult.
a girl. So you know
Edit
how
that
in
out.
gym class in middle school, the gym teachers are usually like, "Oh, go play on the football field," and no one's actually watching you, So there was a girl who was a dancer at my gym. Like, I didn't really know her. I knew her name, but like she went to my gym. So like she's okay. And there was a guy, like this big, like wannabe hood kid that just like wanted to seem all tough and stuff, just all of a sudden walked over to her and pushed her down and started kicking her because she was like quiet. I didn't hear.
Wait, I'm just picturing. Can I just tell you what
Yes.
visual I have in my head
I'm
right
ready.
now? So you're all on the football field, and I'm just picturing this big, tall kid shoving a little girl to the ground and
How old are
kicking
you?
her.
This was the 6th grade.
So 12 or 13?
Yeah.
And he just like threw her on the
I
ground
don't
and
know
started
why,
kicking her.
because I was like farther away, so I don't know why.
Oh,
I don't know what was
God.
said, but I saw him push her down.
He woke up and chose
And
violence.
He did.
I
Chose violence.
was not. I was like, oh, that's my kind of friend, and I started running over, and I'm like, leave her alone, and like I ran over there, and I tried to push him off of her, and he turned around and he punched me in the face. And I'm little, obviously, and I fell to the ground. And while I was on the ground, I realized there was a metal bar by me.
I am shooketh.
No.
What?
And I picked it up and beat him with it.
Oh, Jesus.
That's some American History X stuff right there. Like,
Dude, I love
My
that movie.
history teacher.
You remember that in American
yeah.
History? I watched that movie when I
Oh
was
my
like
God.
10.
my teeth still hurt to this day.
Yes, I have
from that.
never
Okay,
seen something
speaking of almost, beat. Well, no, not almost. You beat the crap
You
out of that
did,
kid.
yeah.
But my husband's in the room, and he would want me to tell this story of the time I almost killed a kid.
What kind of people are y'all?
Wait, as a child as well.
as a
I was
child.
Like, oh man, that's it for today.
No, as a child. Okay, so at my elementary school, even when it was snowing and like 40 degrees out, we would go outside and play in the snow. So the one day we had gone outside, and I was in 3rd grade at the time, and this kid, he was like the obnoxious kid in the class, and the older kids had just gone inside, and they had rolled this huge snowball. Like, I'm assuming they were trying to build a snowman. But this kid in my class dug a hole in the center of the snowball.
No.
And he looked at me and was like, oh, I want to get inside the snowball, and I want you to bury me in it.
Are you trying to die?
It doesn't work that way.
And me, like, I was 9, so I didn't know any better. I was
you told
like,
us you were a goody two shoes, but you try to kill someone with a snowball.
I didn't say when I was a goody two shoes. In class, Tell, in class. No, but
Oh my gosh.
so this kid dunks his head in this snowball. He's like, bury me. And I'm like, okay. So then I get snow and I start piling it on top. But because it was so cold, it immediately froze over.
Oh my god.
And so, like, he was like screaming, and he's like, I can't get out. And so I run over to the recess aide, and I was like, yeah, there's a kid stuck in a snowball.
I don't know how it happened.
I don't know what happened. And then, so the recess aide, she goes, here, take this apple, run to the nurse. And I was like, what's the apple mean? I guess it was like their
Lawless?
code red, like, come out here now.
I'm thinking she gave you like a half-eaten
Right.
apple.
No.
Just run. It'll
No,
run
it was
the school.
like a little piece of paper
I got
apple.
Got it.
So they go get the nurse, and they get the kid out of the snowball. He's in the principal's office. His parents came and everything, and like all of his clothes were soaked.
Yeah.
And
Bless.
this kid told them I pushed him into the snowball.
What a filthy
and
liar.
Buried
No.
him in there. And I was
What's his
like,
name?
Oh,
no.
What's his
No,
name?
Jared. You jumped into the snowball.
It can only be Jared.
Like, no, Jared, you got in the snowball and asked me to bury you, okay? I can't
Yeah.
control what your
Wow.
desires are.
And your
I hope you're
husband's in the
watching
row.
this.
Uh-huh.
Well, which proposal was better?
I was definitely not a good kid.
I
when
need to
was-
know. I need to know because you are so outspoken. No one, I feel like, has. I need to know.
Go.
I was not a good kid when I was a kid. One time, I got a twin sister. If you know me, you know I got a twin on social media. But, well, in real life.
And two.
I say on social media.
Just on the social.
But anyway, so when we were, because we're twins, when we were in kindergarten, we switched classes. But the thing about being a twin, we don't look as much alike as adults. But when we were kids, we looked exactly alike. Our mom dressed us in the same clothes. But your friends can tell you apart better than your teachers can. Mm-hmm. So we get to our first grade class, and my twin is like, before we go in, because our classes were like catty corner to each other. Before we go in, my twin is like, hey, we should switch classes. And I'm like, heck no, mom will beat us. We ain't switching classes. She's like, nobody's gonna know. I'm like, they're gonna know. It's like, how would they know? So we switch classes. I go to her class. She goes to my class. The teacher calls roll, and my friends are some snitches because she goes, my name's Brianna. My twin's name is Bria. So she goes, Bria. And I was like, here. And one of my friends goes, that's not Bria, that's Brianna. So the teacher turns around and looks closer, and she's like, so she goes to the other class and gets Bria out of class. They call my mom, and let's just say you don't want Big Tracy to have to come to the school. Oh. So it was a absolute hot mess. Then when we were in 5th grade, we were in intermediate school. And where I live, it's called ALC, like in-school suspension, but in Mississippi, it's called ALC.
We have ALC.
And so we would not stop fighting. Like, we literally were in a fight, like, every day. Like, as an adult, I'm like,
you and your
I can't
sister
fight.
Were?
No, we were fighting other people. Like, we were like the twins at school that everybody knew we were always getting
don't
into a
mess
fight.
with the twins.
Yeah.
So one time, we had like 2 weeks of school left. Our principal was so tired of us. He was like, you're going to in-school suspension for the rest of the school year.
For 2 weeks.
They put us in in-school suspension for the rest of the school year. And then, this is my last story to show y'all how ratchet I was before I got to high school when I turned my life around. But me and my twin got into a fight with these girls on the church bus, man. We were on the church bus going to vacation Bible school and got into it. Man, they dropped us off at home. I was like, yo, kids can't come back.
They can't come back.
They bad. They can't come back.
Yeah.
They
cannot be saved.
I was not a good student. That's why I relate to my students so much, because they are like straight up ratchet sometimes. And I'm like, you know what? I can't even be mad at you because I was you.
Oh my God.
I always think that's so ironic when, like, I don't even want to say the bad kids at school, but like the bad kids at school, when they become teachers. I love that.
Yeah.
Like,
what's crazy is when we were kids, don't y'all feel like we thought our teachers were like so responsible?
Yeah.
And now that we're adults and we're teachers, we're like,
I was
I was
Right.
like, so we're watching a movie today because my teacher got drunk last night.
That's what they did. Yeah.
My teacher has
we
a
thought it was
hangover.
like one time my teacher cursed because he was like trying to fill a bucket with something and it overflew and it got everywhere and he cursed. And I remember being like, I didn't even know teachers could do that. I thought that was just that's like a mommy and daddy thing that they could curse. Mr. Sheets ruined my world.
It's like
What's
from
his
Mean
name?
Girls.
Mr. Sheets.
I love hearing teachers curse. It's like watching a dog walk on its hind legs.
Yeah. I mean,
See,
it's true.
I get that a lot. Like, whenever I post something that's not at school or something about me, like when I went to a concert with Avery or something like that, I always get, I forget teachers have their own lives.
Right.
What do you think we do?
Oh my
all day?
gosh.
my whole shtick
So
on the
Guys,
TikToks.
I sleep under my desk at the school. I got a
Obviously.
nice
Sleeping
little
bag.
apartment under there.
I think
Obviously.
genuinely as a child I thought that. Like
Why do we think that though,
I don't
y'all?
know.
Is it because our teachers, when we're little, they're like high school? We obviously know they don't sleep at school, but when I was in elementary, I legitimately thought these people stayed
But
at school.
listen, even in high school, I mean, I would say I didn't think they, but I was just like, even when I was in high school, and like a teacher would be like, you'd hear about a teacher going out or something big. I saw Miss Barbara drinking, and I'd be, and now I'm just like, no, you're not gonna put me in that box. Like,
See, there was this TikTok that was like, if these principals could see what these teachers do in their free time, and I just remember thinking, like, so what?
Okay.
my principals
So-
bought me drinks.
Mine
Like,
too.
is whatever I'm doing legal?
Yeah,
Right.
that's fine.
Okay,
So
so,
when-
leave me alone.
Right.
At my first school, when I was helping with cheerleading and at the holiday party, the moms like gave us these little gifts. On the inside was like all these little minis of vodkas, and she's like, "Don't tell the rest of the school." And we're like, "Okay," because apparently you can't do that.
You can't give. Wait,
Like,
it
you can't give teachers alcohol or
Oh, yeah,
something.
you can.
I don't know. That's what
No,
we were always told.
I mean, you probably
that,
shouldn't like drink it on school property,
We were
but like
told
no,
they
you
couldn't
totally
even
can.
give it to us.
Oh no,
at
I had
school.
parents that would
Am
give
I
us
crazy?
it would be like a wine bottle with their child's face on it, and it'd be like, the reason you drink. I'm like, oh my god, it's true.
No,
I
God.
had
Thumbs
to do the
up.
best parents because they get it.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh my.
get it.
That's something I loved about when I was a kid. My parents knew I was the annoying one. like the one that would just cry, or like would like one time I just like walked out of class and walked up this staircase. It led to nothing. I don't know why Chamberlain Elementary School has the staircase. I sat up there for like 2 hours and I didn't realize the entire school was looking for me.
Oh
My
no!
parents were called.
Oh no!
I got detention for a long time. But I just sat up there for 2 hours. I'm like, this is cool. It's just a staircase that leads to nowhere. And they had no idea where it was.
So you know what happened to my brother as a student? And this makes my mom angry to this day.
Your brother be pissing your mama off.
Yeah.
No. He wasn't the one in the wrong. It was actually the teacher. The teacher
Oh gosh!
really did my brother wrong. So my brother's birthday is late June. And this was his first grade teacher. And his first grade teacher was convinced that anyone who had a late summer birthday had to be held back because they just weren't developmentally like ready. And so
Ma'am,
That's not
false.
how
she
it
kept
works.
trying to convince my mom that my brother was behind and that he wasn't. And so my mom's like, okay, let's test him. Like, let's do it. And we just so happened to have like really bad, I think it was snowstorms and things like that a lot in the spring. So they kept pushing the test back, like his testing for reading and math levels. And they finally, so she guilted my mom like no other. My mom decided to hold my brother back and he repeated first grade. He took the test at the end of spring, was supposed to, like, also was delayed in getting the results back. After 2 weeks of the next year, realized he was actually ahead.
Oh my
of all
god!
of his
Did they
class.
move him?
No, because then she was like, well, it's
That
just
woman,
gonna-
I don't want
it's
to say
just
she
gonna
ruined his
disrupt
life,
him.
but that disrupted his life.
That's
Yeah.
terrible.
She's like, it would just disrupt him more to take him and just insert him in the middle of second
my
I mean,
grade.
honestly, kind of.
And then my brother just ended up skipping a grade later on because he's a freaking
Oh, he did
genius.
skip a
Ethan's a
grade.
genius. Like for his master's right now, he's building robots, but he's been building robots that move
I'm
since
not a
like middle
genius.
school.
I'll go
I
say
passed.
No.
I passed the praxis by 1 point. I'm not a genius.
I don't even.
What's up? What's that?
You know
The
how to
praxis?
Y'all don't got to take the praxis.
I take the praxis.
Again, pre-K. We just
Oh,
have to take our
sorry. It's
state
the test you have to
license.
take.
For-
to say
Oh,
you're-
yeah, you gotta
subject
take
area.
It's the,
we don't
yeah,
call it
it's
that. I
the
don't know
test
what
you
we
have to
call
take
it.
to say you're smart enough to teach.
Ours
Did
is,
you have? Oh, go ahead.
No, ours is. I don't think it's called that, but we have to take that. But it's just like your licensing.
Yeah, I passed by 1 point. Y'all need teachers or what?
Does it like so? Ours like you're taking it and then it'll just like and it just like shuts off. Like once like it's either like you take enough, you answer enough questions correctly, they let you pass. You answer enough questions incorrectly, and they're like, just stop, babe. So don't do
no,
more.
ours
Was the
didn't do
praxis
that.
the test or was it the like written thing? I can't even.
No,
remember.
it's the test.
Ours is the test.
It's a test.
Okay, so
For-
yeah, no, I did it on the computer, and I had to take 2. I had to take 1 for like teaching and
took
education
3.
and childhood development,
I took
and then I
1.
took 1 for social studies. There was like a freaking science question on my social studies one, and they're like, "No, it's geology." And
I
I'm
took
like,
the
"No."
entire 2.5 hours for all.
Were you
for
like that
all
as
of them.
kids?
What?
Were you like that as kids or?
Oh
like-
yeah, when I took
I
any
used to.
test as a kid, I had so much anxiety with test taking. Like I would just because like I'm smart enough. Like I know I'm a smart person, but like when you put a test in front of my face with like multiple choice answers, I'm like, okay, it could be this, but maybe they're thinking like this, and then it could be this, and maybe they're not thinking like that, and then it'll be this answer, and I'm like, it could be all of these, and I like freak out about one question. So I had high anxiety.
I have no
as a
idea
kid.
how I passed because I was my students and I would just Christmas tree the tests.
Oh, I was like, what is
yeah.
Christmas?
You
Just-
know,
just-
Christmas when
right.
they just go in and just mark answers.
Oh.
But I heard that if you mark C, you'll get some. You know, so I used to I'd be
just
that
C
student
all
that
the
just
way
go through and
down.
mark C all the way
I don't
down.
know.
I didn't have really bad anxiety about tests or anything like that, but what I did, I remember my most embarrassing moment as a student was in 5th grade. And one of the number one questions that I always get from kids, do you ship students? No, absolutely not.
What does that
Because-
mean?
Like, do you like
want them to be in a
imagine that
relationship?
these students are dating or grow up and
that's
fall
weird.
in love?
You
Like,
ship
right? And
students?
it's like, oh, I see these kids like each other, so I'm gonna like sit them next to each other.
Heck,
Yeah, I don't
feel
do that.
I would never do that.
That's
a
weird. They're
disruption to my
children.
whole
Weird.
class.
It's weird. But also,
I say that's weird as I did not watch Laguna Beach religiously, and there was about high school love. I'm like, that's on.
see, but when I was in 5th grade, I remember I've always had really bad ADHD, and they didn't diagnose me till later on in life. So all of my teachers just said that I was too chatty or that I was too like high energy or things like that.
You were that student that it didn't matter who you moved you next to, you was going to talk to them.
Oh, absolutely. And I just remember at one of my parent-teacher conferences, my teacher looked at my parents and was like, maybe if your daughter stopped fantasizing about this boy over here, she would pay a little bit more attention in class. And I was mortified that my teacher could tell that I had a crush on this kid.
In-depth explanation.
I was really like devastated. And so now the idea of shipping kids is just like, mind your business. Mind
Shipping
your
kids?
freaking business.
Yeah,
I told my
don't do
students
that
I was going to
stuff.
ship them. They would think I was going to put them in a
That's my thought.
box and
So I
send
was
them
like,
somewhere.
oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, I'd ship them that way.
I sure would.
I would. I mean, as an adult, it took me until I was 30 to be diagnosed with ADHD, but I would talk to anyone. And then the school made the mistake of putting my best friend Tan and I in the same class.
Oh,
Oh no.
And we were just both literally the entire like school clown. It wasn't even a class clown. And so our teacher would be like, okay, partner up. We were always partners. Big me, you, me, you, us together. Like just so obnoxious. And it didn't matter where he moved us. It was just always that. And we'd be like, how was your weekend? You dating? And he's like, oh my God, please stop asking personal questions about my life. Just, we were super obnoxious. And then one day she comes in late and I was like, Gina, where were you? She's like, I don't feel good. And I was like, oh. She's like, I took medicine. I'll be okay. And I was like, okay. So we're going to do our regular shtick in, sophomore geometry class. And I look over to go do it. And she has fallen asleep because she actually took NyQuil instead of Dayquil. And she doesn't measure any of her medicine. She just like shot it back and she's drooling. So I was like, Tan, you want to be a pie? And I'm looking over. She's like completely falling asleep. And our teacher's like, she needs to go home. We didn't get to do the shtick that day.
Aw.
It was the non-shtick day.
Okay, I got a funny story. So this is actually about my brother. You made me think of it. So my brother, when he was in first grade, he had this teacher who, she was just a little off. Like she was just weird. So he would come home and tell my mom, he'd go, Mom, Miss Clegia's like picking her nose and flicking her boogers across the classroom. And my mom was like, no, she's not. You're being crazy. She's not doing that. And then like they went to conferences. And she did it in front of them.
What the heck, man?
And then
That's funny.
later on in the year, she like came to school intoxicated and was driving into the parking lot and hit a school bus.
Dang.
And
my God.
needless to say, she was fired.
She was like, born to be wild.
She had a little bit of a burnout.
Yeah,
I think
she
that
was
I
sad.
think she was done.
I'm not going to
Yeah,
say
she
I
did.
agree, but I understand.
No. It's weird the things that we as kids I always say believe your child. So like if a parent calls me and they said like did this happen in class, I'm like it didn't, but like I'm glad that you like are advocating for your child. But I remember in 4th grade going home being like, Mom, my teacher does drugs. My mom's like, what? And I'm like, I got called in for recess and I saw her with a needle. My mom was like, oh my God. So she called. She had diabetes.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there tattling on her and like, listen.
Okay,
I saw something.
I've got one worse. So okay, maybe I wasn't that great of a kid.
What's my
Now that
dick
I-
pill
No,
child?
I was
Think
a
about
good
it.
kid. I meant well, but no. So when I was in 2nd grade, that was when 9/11 happened, and I was at school, obviously the day that it happened, and all of our teachers were in the next classroom watching the news.
Why weren't our teachers with us? My teachers were not in my classroom either.
No, cause I think
They
they
was
were all
making
crying.
copies.
Yeah,
they were making copies.
Probably not worried.
They were like, "We have a free minute." No. But so we were all in the classrooms. People were coming to get their kids left and right.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I thought this, but the next day I go back to school and we were talking about what happened, and I was like, my uncle is a firefighter, and he's going up to New York to help the people in the towers. My uncle is not a firefighter.
Oh,
My uncle is a
lied.
businessman working for a trucking company.
She really said, how do I make this about me?
And well, my teacher called my mom and was like, we heard about your brother and we wanted to take up a collection to send with the firefighters up to New York.
Oh my gosh.
And who can we give this money to? And my mom was like, I am so sorry. I don't know.
so sorry.
I don't know where the heck she got in her head that he is a firefighter. He is not, nor will he ever be. He is not going to New York.
This is why I couldn't do that, 'cause as a parent, I would have been embarrassed. I would have been like,
Yes.
you.
I was like, Mom, you could have just taken one
But
for
it-
me. And no, you threw me under the bus. Like,
my sister, so my mom had passed away, and so my sister, there's a place in our hometown, and they did like free counseling for everyone in the family, but they delegated it of like what kind of loss it was, right? So if you had a parent loss, you went to a different group and whatever. So there was a kids section too, and that was just like kind of a blanket statement loss. And so my sister comes to pick up my niece and nephew, and the woman comes, she goes, Natasha, I'm so sorry. And she's like, what? She goes, this whole time we've been talking about the loss of their grandma. We didn't know that your daughter died too. My sister goes, what? And she's like, your kids told us about your daughter, their sister. And she was like, nope. They're lying to you.
Oh my
they built an
gosh.
entire week of lesson plans over loss of a sibling, and never happened.
Oh my god!
I was like, that's some funny
the
stuff.
things that kids say.
What is your daughter?
The
I know she's
things
got a.
that kids say. First of all, she's ridiculous. James was like, you should bring her down here to Orlando. When I'm like, absolutely, she's psychotic, bro. I'm not putting her on the plane.
With these
She'll
couches?
talk to everybody. But this teacher said that she shut up, y'all. This teacher said this is how kids lie when they go home. Like sometimes the things that you say and what they translate it to when they get home
Right.
literally makes no
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
This teacher showed her 5th grade class a picture of her ultrasound. It's 5th
Yeah.
grade. They know what an ultrasound looks
Right.
like.
There's
The
nothing to-
kid
yeah.
went home and told their mom that their teacher showed them a video of her giving birth.
Not,
So the parent
not
called the
this-
school mad and in an uproar.
Oh my god.
And she's like, I showed them a picture of my ultrasound.
Not the same.
Why would I
thing.
ever
Nope.
show a 5th grade class a video of me giving birth?
This is
Oh my
also why we
gosh.
might need like sex education, so kids aren't like, I saw an ultrasound. This is birth.
So
It's not.
I have you made me think of it earlier, but like, I didn't want to interrupt, but to really show how like my mom was serious, that I always followed the rules. Like I was very, I guess, kind of like sheltered as a kid. I listened to Disney music exclusively throughout elementary school. Like I didn't even know there was a radio.
But Hillary Duff, come
But
clean.
Come
like,
clean. So,
so
yesterday.
Have you even lived?
so
Metamorphosis.
in 5th grade, we got these pet rocks, okay? And everyone's on.
I always think people are so interested when they say they got a pet rock.
Right.
And we
Unpack
got
that
these
for
pet
me.
rocks, and everyone was going around the room talking about like what they would name their rocks. And it started on the other side of
Rocky.
the room, and they were like naming them after some of our local radio station hosts, like like Kentucky Kristen.
Hold
and,
on a
like,
second.
Wait,
a
you
minute.
have?
I have a pet rock. I'm gonna name it after my local news anchor.
Well,
like
no,
what?
like it was like the radio station everyone listened to, and they had like a Bob and the Showgram in the morning kind of thing.
I understand that,
Wait, Bob
but
and the
who's
Who?
connecting
Bob and
that
the
to their pet
Showgram.
rock?
I'm telling you, it's like I don't know, but like then all these
Man,
people
North
were
Carolina is
talking about
wild.
like
Y'all, wow. We don't do that in SIP.
I don't know.
In northern Indiana, I don't think we have that big of like the. I don't know. Maybe I need to listen. I mean, I'm not in Indiana anymore, but they have nicknames.
Yeah.
We
Do
don't
they
have
nickname? Should we be nicknaming ourselves?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope that I'm like ragging on radio hosts. Like we're not making a podcast right now. Like that's weird.
See, I don't know.
You're done.
But like everyone was then like joining in and then like naming their rocks after like artists
What
and
was
like
your rock's
singers
name?
and things
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
it
Tell me it was Raven Simone.
I didn't know, like, because I only knew the Disney artists, and I was like, I don't know who any of these people were, and then I realized I was really lame.
Because everybody else had listened to
Do you not remember the name of the rock? Was it unnamed?
Like their names, I don't even remember what I named mine. I
The
probably
Cheetah
named
Girls.
it like Hillary,
The
because
Cheetah
Hillary
Girls.
Duff
the
or
Cheetah
something.
Sisters.
But
Cheetah
then
Sisters.
I went and I found I got an iPod for the holidays, or like an MP3 player, not even an iPod. And I found out how to work the radio, and I would like secretly listen to the radio.
Wait, were you
at
not
night.
allowed to listen to the radio?
I guess no. Like I
Oh.
was really sheltered as a kid, and like I thought I was so badass because I listened to the radio past when I was supposed to be asleep, and I hid my Nintendo DS under my pillow when my parents
Oh, you.
came to check
How
on
old are
me.
you?
Man,
In elementary school.
No, you now.
25.
man, I was listening.
I did not
to
have a Nintendo
3-6 Mafia.
DS.
I had a
I had
DS.
one.
Nintendogs was the best.
I'm 27.
If they make Nintendogs
Man, I
for
was just
Switch,
poor.
it's game over. Oh.
Nothing to do with my age. I just.
I'm stressed for you because I really was listening to 3-6 Mafia
yeah.
and Project Pat.
Sis-
when I,
the thong song, Cisco. I
Man.
mean, she got dumped like a truck, you know? Like, that was, I was in like first grade.
Okay, you have to. My mom literally told me that stupid was a cuss word until I was in middle school.
Oh, yeah. We called each other Stewie and
Like,
Itty.
I said suck one day, and my dad like yelled at me because I said suck, and I'm like, why? What's wrong with that word?
what
I
kind
didn't
of
know.
families did y'all grow up in?
Not ours.
Baby, cuss words was our family.
Suburban
Second language.
home.
They were
First
like,
language
you,
was
you can't
English.
say outside of the home, but
Nah, I said it at school too. I was a bad kid.
It was that day I
bad
realized
kid.
I was a lame child.
Hey, but you're a cool adult though, so it don't matter.
If you had
Thank you.
if you had to give yourself a stereotype from like what like high school stereotype would you have been?
High school?
Athlete,
The athlete?
jock.
I literally was voted teacher's pet, so I'm gonna go with
Is
that.
that your senior superlative?
Yep,
Wait,
that
did
was
you-
my senior freaking
you have a senior
superlative. Teacher's
superlative?
pet.
I don't know what that is.
It's
Like,
like
do they
most
give
likely.
like best friends, most likely to be
Oh,
famous,
yeah.
like
No.
best dressed?
I wasn't cool enough to win anything, but
I was up for
was just
best
an
dressed.
I
They
was-
gave it to this
I
other girl,
was-
and I was voted teacher's pet instead.
That checks
Still
out with the
salty.
stories you've told us.
What were you?
You're gonna love this. I was most likely to be Mr. America.
Here he is,
Yeah.
Mr. America.
I don't know why. Krista Boynton was like an actual pageant star.
Because you're fantastic.
No, if you knew me, that was not like.
They
Why
just
isn't,
knew.
you know what? Why
Interesting.
isn't there a Mr. America though?
Why isn't
Did
it?
you know that you can't be married and like compete
Yeah.
for Miss America?
Oh
or
well, there
anything
goes
like
my
that?
shot.
Yeah.
I was so
Dang, I
upset.
could have won too. Like,
One of my
love
really
you.
good friends on social media competed as Miss Utah in Miss America, and she got top 10, by the way. Yay,
She
Sasha!
did. She did really
She
did
good.
well.
so
Go,
good.
Sasha.
But
She did
I
really
learned
good.
so much about Miss America and the organization. They're like, yeah, you can't be married, and I'm like,
Why?
why?
Yeah,
They're like,
and you have
it's
to be a-
not Mrs. America. I'm
Oh.
like, that's
There is a
dumb.
Mrs. America.
That's dumb.
there is a
No.
Mrs. America.
Is there really?
Yes, I swear. There's a Mrs. America.
I ain't
I'm
never
mad.
heard of
I'm
it.
Maybe my
angry.
dreams aren't crushed after
Yeah.
all.
Let's do it. You can be Ohio. I'll be North
I'll
Carolina.
be Mrs. Ohio. That
I will
sounds
be
super
missing
lame.
that weekend.
That's right. I have
Ohio.
no desire to do
Yeah.
either one of those things.
No, I don't want to do either.
I thought it was cute. I don't know.
That's cute.
I don't
Those
know.
are some talented
I
women
would
for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
they're
sure.
They're
really
so freaking talented.
I feel like that's got to start at a young age too. There's no way.
Yeah, there's some of those people. I'm like,
They
They're
started
so
out with like
talented.
toddlers
I'm
and
I'm sorry,
tiaras
but all I
the way to
could think
Miss
of is
America.
toddlers and tiaras. Like,
Oh no, that was so.
my
cringy.
name is Becky, and I'm gonna be taking my daughter Cynthia to our Dreams little pageant this weekend.
Cynthia? I don't. We got right back to Cynthia.
I can't, Cynthia and Becky. I can't stop using
It's
those
the
names.
TV. We just
You
like
know,
talking about TV.
My mom hates when people call me Becky.
I
'cause
never call
she-
you Becky though, so I don't
Avery-
associate those names.
Avery calls me Becky because my mom hates it. She knew a Becky in high school that she did not like, but that's okay. But to close off, you named your superlative. You said athlete.
yeah.
Athlete,
Teacher's pet.
Mr. America.
I did nothing but cheerleading, but like not the really popular social cheer. Like I literally did nothing but cheer all day, every day, and that's
I
that,
can-
like,
that
that
tracks.
was
We're
my
like
that
a
was my
TV
personality
movie.
trait.
We are.
Let's talk
That was
about
my
TV.
But
We'll talk about TV next
yeah,
time.
well,
Yeah.
next time. So we talked about what we were like as kids, as students, and so next episode we will talk about TV teachers because there's some that I have some really strong opinions on.
Oh yeah.
Also, guys, please don't forget to sign up for our Patreon where you will get exclusive behind the scenes footage and bonus content. It's going to be super fun. It is linked down low in the description.
And if you become a Patreon member, you'll be entered to win free swag from us, which is pretty awesome.
And make sure you sign up for our newsletter so you can get some notifications about when our new merch is coming out. Woo! Included right here. So hit that up and we will see you guys so soon.
Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Or listening.
What?
It's a podcast. People are listening.
Put it.